Hey boys and girls, it's Mrs. Lanning here with your Writer's Workshop lesson for today. So, writers, I want to tell you all about the conversations and things that happened in my day today. And I want you to give me thumbs how I'm telling about my day. If I'm doing a good job of telling a story, and you can be honest, I'm giving you permission, okay? Be kind, but honest. All right, so like this morning, I woke up and then I made myself coffee and the coffee was really hot. And I said, I'm so excited for this coffee because coffee is what wakes me up. And then as I started to get my items and go into the car, the coffee spilled on my lap and it was so hot. And I said, ow, 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 this hurts so bad. And then I was stomped my foot. I was so mad because I had to go upstairs and change my clothes. And my husband, Mr. Lanning, said, why do you have to come back inside? I thought you were leaving for work. And I said, well, I spilled my hot coffee and then I got in the car and I went. And that's what happened this morning. Did you like listening to that story about my day? You didn't? 2 thumbs down? Why not? I guess you're right. My voice was pretty flat in some parts of my day that were kind of crazy or exciting. I didn't even change my voice to show that. And maybe I could have said that the coffee splashed on my lap and I could be more specific, right? So maybe I would say the story like this. Today I woke up and I made myself a hot cup of coffee. I love coffee because that's what makes me wake up and enjoy my day. Without coffee, I'm boring and sleepy. Well, I made my hot coffee. I walked carefully down the stairs and I put it on top of my car to load up my car. Well, wouldn't you know it, the moment I opened the door, the coffee spilled, splashed all over into my lap, and I yelled, ow, this hurts so bad. I ran up the stairs, flung open the door because I needed to change my clothes because I spilled hot coffee all over me. And Mr. Lanning asked, why are you back in here? I thought you were leaving for work. And I whispered back, I spilled coffee on myself and now I have to change. So then I changed and I now don't have hot coffee spilled all over my pants and it's so much better and I enjoyed the rest of my day. Did you like that version better? Yes, because I filled the story with action. I showed what my voice was doing. I didn't say, and then I said, ow, 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 it hurt. I said, I shouted, ow, this really hurts. So, boys and girls, today I want to teach you that when you are writing your stories, you can fill your stories with dialogue and action. So, say the word dialogue. Dialogue. That's a fancy word. You're going to sound so fancy when you say that fancy word dialogue. Dialogue is just a fancy word for talking and communication. When I say dialogue, I'm talking about the communication or discussion between people. So when I'm writing or sharing a story, I talk about what people are saying, but I can add details about how they said it. For example, I pointed out that instead of saying, I said, ow, ow, the hot coffee hurts. Ow, ow, ow. I said, I shouted, ow, 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 this really hurts. And then I talked about how Mr. Lanning asked me, why are you back in here? I thought you left for work. And how I whispered, I spilled coffee on myself. I talked about how I said it. I didn't just say I spilled coffee on myself. I said I whispered. So you friends really could understand what was happening. And if I wrote that down, the reader could really understand how the character said something. So instead of saying, my character said, try and think. Did they shout it? Did they whisper? Did they yelp? Did they whine? Did they exclaim? Did they cry? Did they bark? Did they shriek? Or did they scold? How did they say it? So, just like you did in small moments, we want to unfreeze the people. We make them move, we make them talk. And we're not just going to talk about what they say, but how they said it. And we want to be specific about what action is going on. We want to tell the story in small steps. So instead of me saying, oh yeah, coffee, it just went all over my lap, I could say, the coffee cup tipped over and splash, it spilled all over my lap. I'm telling it in small steps. Instead of saying, I went upstairs and I had to change my clothes. No, I ran up the stairs. I'm talking about what actually happened in detail. And you friends can do this in your story too. Think in your stories, how did the character say something? What exactly did they do? and stretch it out. I want to give a compliment to my friend Autumn, and I want to share with you her story. I want you to tap your nose if you see that she's not just saying the character said, but they're talking about how they said it. And if you maybe see words that show you the exact actions of what's going on, you can tap your nose when you hear those things. So let me share you her wonderful story. And this is a first grade friend. All right. One spring day, Sarah and her friend Rebecca were playing a game. And then we saw something. It was a slug! We all gasped. Ooh, I see an action word, gasped. It's showing me that they all went, oh, I'm really imagining that. And I see her picture matches that too. Then Rebecca started to run away and yelled, I don't like slugs. They're not just saying she walked away, she went away. They said she ran away, and she didn't just say, I don't like slugs. She yelled. She was running and she yelled, I don't like slugs. Autumn, way to go in telling me exactly what's going on. Then Sarah said, come on, it's just a slug. Rebecca crept a little closer. What great action words. Sarah said, come on, let's look at the snail. Rebecca said, okay, I'll try not to be scared. Let's give claps for Autumn and her story. She did a great job of talking about how the character said something and giving those exact actions about how Rebecca crept a little closer. And boys and girls, those are details that you can add in your story. You're not going to copy Autumn's story, but in your story, you can think and imagine in your mind, how did the character say that and what exactly happened? Write about those things so that way your reader can imagine it clearly in their head too. So boys and girls, today we learned not only to share what our characters say, but how they say it. Did they yell it, exclaim it, shriek it? Were they scolding? We also practiced telling the exact actions of our characters, just like we did in small moments. So boys and girls, today and every day in your fiction writing, I want to remind you, you can use these strategies in your stories. Make the characters move, make the characters talk, and tell it in exact steps. How did they say it? And how exactly did the action unfold? All right, writers, it's your turn. Writers, go write.